She's back. A few days ago, Casey Anthony started a TikTok, and we need to talk about it. I'm going to play the video that Casey Anthony made for all of us to hear her rebrand in just a second, but before that, here's a quick recap of the case. And I mean real quick. You all remember the case of the early 2000s, right? Where she unalived her daughter and then she got off scot-free. All of the evidence they said was circumstantial, but not to us. We saw all the evidence. It was the most followed case of the early 2000s that I can recall. And while her daughter was missing, and no one knew that her daughter was missing even at the time of this picture, she was partying, hanging out, doing a bunch of things, and not telling anyone where her daughter was while people were asking, including her own parents. They ended up finding the child's body a couple months later near Casey Anthony's house in the woods. The trunk of Casey Anthony's car also set off alarms with the dogs who smell for human remains, and they alerted that there were human remains in the trunk at some point. But let's just hear what Casey Anthony has to say.
We're sweat to death. Okay. Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. This is my first of probably many recordings on a series that I'm starting. I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011. And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter. For those of you who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony. My daughter is Kaylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself. I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give a voice to people, to give people tools and resources that they can utilize so they actually know where they can turn to. So with that, please join me on Substack. If you have questions, I will set up an email address where we can correspond directly. Up until this point, that has never happened. And it's only going to be on a limited basis regarding legal issues, legal matters. One of the main reasons that I'm doing this, there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. There are also people close to me who have had some recent things occur. And when necessary, people needed to step up, myself included. So as a proponent for the LGBTQ community, for our legal community, women's rights, I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me and now look at as a blessing as opposed to the curse that it has been since 2008. With that, these aren't going to be perfect. They're not going to be edited. Most of the time, they're not going to be short. But I am proverbially standing in the light, embracing this piece, still going to keep my privacy intact, so you will get very comfortable with my car.
Please, no.
And
you're like your daughter did? Okay.
I will explain in great detail why it's so important for people to protect their privacy. It's not just important to public figures, it's even more important to private individuals.
You should be in jail.
With the current climate in our country especially, it's that much more important, which is why I am utilizing the Substack platform. Yes, I am advertising this and publishing this on TikTok, possibly also through other meta platforms, but my intention is to separate from that and showcase even more why Substack is such an important resource for people to utilize moving forward. Anyway, I appreciate your time, and we'll see how this goes.
Well, Casey, it's not going well. People are pissed.
Why in the hell is Casey White OJ Anthony on my screen talking about this is about to be the first of many videos that she makes because she is now an advocate? An advocate for what? She said she's going to be an advocate for herself and her daughter. Are you finally going to tell us what in the hell happened? You finally going to do a confession? You know, they got double jeopardy. If you just let us know what happened, you can't get tried again.
True.
You're the white OJ. You are ROJ, okay? And now you're going to come on here and try to play in our face? Talk about you an advocate? No, ma'am. We don't need no advocates. Then you can talk about you're going to be an advocate for the LGBTQIA plus community. They don't need your advocacy, ma'am, okay? They're like, look, we got enough problems of our own. We need you to keep our names out of your mouth, okay? Yes. She talking about join my Substack, email me. I'm going to give, like private appointments to help people. What you gonna teach them how to do? Get away with murder? Allegedly for educational purposes only. Cassie, go crawl back under the rock that you came out from under, because we is not doing this in 2025. Whoever told you this was a good idea, they lied to you, okay? They lied to you. Nobody wants your advice. Nobody want to see your face. Nobody want to hear what you got to say. Nobody wants your advice, okay? Congratulations. You've been in the legal field since 2011. You should have stayed private. Go back to private. Go get your chair, get in a corner, and have several seats.
Exactly. She's trying to clear her name, and she's only had this TikTok for 2 days and has 52,000 followers as of right now. And that means she can monetize this, and she has. Absolutely she has submitted for monetization at this point. She did. She's trying to rebrand herself as an advocate for women and LGBTQ plus communities. No, just like that other lady said, please, they do not need their name in your mouth. Please stay away from all of us. 2.5 million views on that video already, and 1.5 million on this video, which isn't really a video as much as it is her commenting on something on Substack, I believe, where she has 4 subscribers as of right now. Please do not subscribe to this woman. It has been more than 16 years since my name has become a household one. Yeah, whose fault was that? Everyone seems to have an opinion about me and about my life. I'm an advocate. A researcher. It's not an opinion about you if everything was presented as evidence in trial as fact and was proven to be true. It's just a jury found your case to be circumstantial for whatever reason. I'm thinking it was privilege, but whatever. When everyone was asking where her daughter was, she said she was with Zanny the nanny, who proved to be non-existent. Zanny the nanny, she must have just made that up on the spot. She's with Zanny the nanny. Meanwhile, no, this little girl was dead in the woods while she was partying, okay? This attempt at a rebrand is not going to help you, babe. We haven't forgotten, and we never will.
I would rather lose all of my rights as a Black, lose all of my rights as a woman, lose all of my rights as a Puerto Rican, lose all of my rights as a lesbian, and be forced to do nothing but live and exist in a box and be arrested every time I so much as think of kissing a woman, before I ever fix my lips to say, yes, Casey Anthony, yes, I need your legal advice.
The fact that it was the most followed case of the early 2000s, and she says that we just have opinions on her, and it's not an opinion if we watch the case minute by minute, second by second. We saw the evidence, and we all know that you are to blame. Her own parents wanted to believe her so bad, and it eventually got to the point in the trial where they're like, listen, I can't negate this evidence anymore. She's guilty. Nothing adds up. And text messages were also proving her to have been lying to not just the court, but to the police for a really long time. None of the timelines that she gave added up. Nothing added up. And so her parents just had to admit to themselves eventually that their daughter was responsible for this. And Casey Anthony's defense team, if you remember, argued that Kaylee drowned in an above-ground swimming pool at the girl's grandparents' house, which was totally made up. She was alleging that they reported her missing on July 15th, 2008 to try to cover up the drowning. Casey Anthony's team also said that she was abused by her father and her brother, and that's why she was scared to come out and say anything from the beginning. Both of the parents passed a lie detector test about that, and Casey Anthony did not. And this is her smiling in the courtroom after they found her daughter. At the trial of you murdering your daughter, she's smiling like this. I think I've only ever smiled like that when I'm trying to pretend to be evil. What is this smile? By the way, if you're liking this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I post things all the time and it's always interesting because, duh. It's truly fascinating what the mind will do. Compartmentalizing your lies into creating a false reality that you can continue to live by for the rest of your life and completely taking away the fact of what really happened. A lot of people do this with trauma and traumatic events in their life just so they can continue to move on. I think that this court case and the public's reaction would have been very traumatic for her, but not unwarranted whatsoever. And I do know that the brain can create lies when you've gone through trauma, and then you completely believe them. Like, that is what I think is happening here. We all know she's not innocent. It was very clear the entire time she was Kaylee's mom that she didn't want a child. She just wanted to party. That was pretty much told on her in court by everyone who knew her, including her own parents, from their witnessing how she behaved. This was even from her coworkers. I mean, it was from everybody. And even since then, as we know, she has not had another child. And obviously that's for the best. But, I mean, she didn't want to be a mom. She was too young, in her opinion, to be a mom. And I don't think she wanted to be a mom at all. I think she wanted to be free, to do whatever she wanted. And she killed her own daughter because of that. I have to be careful with the YouTube censorship on here. There's so many words you can't say. You can't gaslight us like this. People are not falling for it, Casey. I mean, it's all in comment sections. She will not gaslight me. Tell her to turn on those comments. Let us tell her what we think. Oh yeah, if you can see right here, there are no comments under here because she turned them off. It was so obvious she was involved in her child. She is far from innocent. The system failed. As far as her being an advocate for women, girl, where was that voice when she was partying while her baby was dead? Literally all the evidence pointed to her. And the biggest one of them all is not reporting your daughter missing for a whole month, all while partying and getting tattooed. Yeah, she was having the time of her life, while her daughter was in the woods. Ultimately, what prosecutors believe happened was Kaylee was given a sedative, which apparently she was given sometimes when her mom just wanted her to go to sleep and not bother her. And it might have been too high of a dose at this point. And then she just ended up dying. So Casey covered it up because it would be obvious that she had poisoned her daughter if an autopsy was done, because they would have done an autopsy on this little girl if she just randomly died and she was fully healthy. So I think that she just didn't know what to do and put her in the woods. At least that's what the prosecution came up with. That's one of the scenarios that a lot of people were running with because it seemed like the most likely scenario considering the history of her drugging her daughter. But please, guys, let's not give her any sort of attention. I know I'm making this video, but it's mostly so that you guys know this is happening and do not follow her. Because she's going to make money off of this.
This right here is all we need to do. Block. Do not like. If she ever turns on comments, do not comment. Do not watch the video. Do not let her get paid a single cent off of this nonsense. Legal advocate, my ass. We should all be outraged by this. If you're sitting there saying Kaylee deserved better, she did. All of our children do. This right here is proof that the justice system is so flawed, especially when it comes to protecting our children, because it doesn't. Our laws do not protect our children. They protect their abusers. This is proof that monsters are real and they walk among us.
And they get paid for it.
Even those that admit to what they have done still get to walk around as if nothing ever happened. Because the justice system is a joke when it comes to stuff like this. Just block her. That's literally all you have to do. That is the best way that you can give justice to Kaylee right now, is to block this monster.
I'm definitely going to be blocking her after this. I played her video on my page without giving you guys direction to go visit her page to see it, because you need to be aware of what she's saying, but you also don't need to go there yourself and give her the views. The more views she gets on these videos, the more the algorithm is going to push it out into the For You page, which means that's how she gets paid, for people to authentically come across her in the For You page. Yeah, that's how she's going to get paid. And we don't need her to be getting paid. So if you are going to do anything, just go to her page and block it, because you've seen enough. The more follows she gets, the more people are going to have this on their For You page, and the more she's going to get paid. Dare I say, if this was anyone other than a pretty white girl, we all know how this would have ended. This beautiful baby deserves so much more than this. You know, today she would be 20 years old. She would be 20 years old today. This is a sin against heaven. If you want to see more of my videos, definitely subscribe for more tea. Also, like this video if you like it, and definitely let me know what you think about this in the comments. It's one thing to slink away into the darkness. It's another thing to try to gaslight everyone into believing that you are innocent when we all know that you weren't. Try to rebrand yourself 20 years later to get us to believe that you are this inspirational advocate for women in Women's History Month. Like, it literally just started and you posted this on the first day, and then you want to bring LGBTQ plus people into it. You're using a marginalized group just to make yourself look better when you are a child, and we all know it. Y'all, I cannot actually get over this. I know I'm gonna end the video, but like, I really cannot get over the audacity of this. Anyways, that's it. What a complete train wreck. See you guys in the next video. Bye.